Welcome to the Rookie Scale Film Room. I'm your host, Jon Chepkevich, and I'm glad to be joined today by one of the sharpest rising prospects throughout this season for the 2022 NBA Draft, Wake Forest's Jake LaRavia. What's going on, Jake?
What's going on? Appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. Excited to have you on. The draft is just a couple days away right now. Pretty hard to believe that it's upon us, but with you being one of these guys that wasn't really on the radar at the beginning of the year from a draft perspective, transferred up from Indiana State, and now throughout the course of the season have really ascended to potential first round relevance. Just wanted to get your perspective on how that journey has been, when things really clicked for you that, you were for real a potential first round draft pick, and kind of how that's been sharing those moments with your family, your friends, and those close to you.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely been a grind. I started off at Indiana State, where kind of paved the way for where I'm at today, and Wake Forest. It did so much for me as far as continuing to develop my game. Giving me confidence, just playing against the higher ranked guys and dudes that I'm going to see in the NBA. So Wake Forest definitely got me ready. From a player development standpoint, the strength coach at Wake Forest, Coach Starkey, did a great job with putting muscle on and in that category with physicality. So I mean, I made a big jump in all categories at Wake Forest for sure.
Yeah, and you could definitely see it on the court. You could see your confidence sort of increasing over the course of the year. And I think it was a game in mid to late January against UNC when you scored 30 plus, had like 9 boards, a few assists. That felt to me like the turning point where it went from, oh, Jake is an interesting guy, putting up good analytical stats, has some size, maybe he's a two-way second round pick, to, okay, we gotta take this guy seriously as maybe a first rounder. Do you remember that game? And did that feel like a big moment for, your potential future career as a professional?
Yeah, I mean, whenever I describe the season, I kind of say like that game kind of started it all. Just like as far as like buzz goes,
Yeah.
after I played that game, it was like I kept seeing Jake LaRavia on social media, and that's kind of like when I started getting that buzz, and when people started to watch more of the games, just to scout me. And but also that game just gave me extra confidence that I already had, but just continue to build on it and grow.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's when all the agents started hitting you up too, right? After that, that probably ramped up a bit too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and speaking of your agent and your strength and conditioning stuff, from what I understand, you've been out in New Jersey when you're not on the road working out for teams, and you've been putting in a lot of work throughout the pre-draft process on, continuing to get your body right and be in the best shape that you can be, keep improving your game. What have been the main focuses while you've been in Tom's River and going through your pre-draft training?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things for sure that our trainer focused on, Alan Watson, was mobility. A lot of stretching, a lot of just stuff with band work, core work, just like a lot of mobility, just to make sure we're ready to produce at the highest level on the court. And then obviously always perfecting our craft on the court as well, with ball handling, shooting, and all that. So it was very good work for sure.
That's great. Yeah, it seems like you're making the most of this time. These few months can be a bit of a whirlwind here, but we're almost to the end,
Yeah.
almost to the draft, and let's dive into some film now. Enough of all the the interview questions. Let's actually talk some ball, get into the tape, and go through some aspects of your game that look like they'll translate cleanly to the next level, and maybe one area to kind of work on for some improvement. Sound good?
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. So I don't think we'll be watching too many clips of you actually scoring the ball. I wanted to focus on your passing, which I think is really rare for somebody your size, just your level of vision and using your height to kind of see angles that others can't as a passer.
Yeah.
Um, so maybe we'll let a couple of these run here, but do you want to give me a little bit of maybe background just as to how you developed your passing ability? Was it something that when you were younger that you had in your game, had natural passing instincts? Have you played, point guard earlier in your career? Where did this sort of originate from?
Yeah, I mean, I was a guard all middle. I mean, growing up, I was a point guard. So all middle school, most of high school, I was a guard. I didn't really start playing bigger until I got to, Indiana State, my first 2 years of college. But I always think I had that, like the IQ. I feel like passing is a lot of it's IQ of the game, just knowing where the defenders are at, knowing where your players are at. Like another big thing about being able to pass to your teammates is chemistry that you have with them, and just knowing where everyone's at on the court at all times, just being able to see everything.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you see that in the film here. So we'll come back to this first one. You kind of, catch this cross court pass at the top. They're pressing you a little bit. You kind of create an advantage here headed toward the nail. What is it that you see as this is happening that kind of leads you to, manipulating the defense the way you do? What is it that you're kind of breaking down and seeing here as you're driving?
Yeah, I mean, so right here, it's really not much that I can create for myself unless I wanted to do like a step back shot. But I see two players in front of me. I see Dallas in the dunker spot, and I kind of know that I get a lot of people with my fake. So I draw him right there on that fake right here, and then I see Dallas right there, and I just throw it up for him because I know he can catch those.
Yeah, and you make a lot of these nice big to big passes throughout the course of all the clips that I was watching. This one seems a little bit more designed right here, but this isn't an easy pass, right? You have to make a quick split second decision. You find Dallas there as well. This one, I want to rewind this one and start from the beginning here because it's a very, very narrow window that you end up passing this through.
Yeah.
You want to maybe run me through as you're driving baseline, sort of, what's going through your mind here, what you're seeing, and how you're able to kind of find that sliver of room to hit him for an easy shot.
Yeah, this is another one. I'm driving baseline. I see the backline defender. I usually never look at the person who's guarding me.
Right.
But I look at the defender that's in help, and
Yep.
so I'm getting pretty much double team right here. I see Dallas right here, and I see he's cutting. So I try to do just like a little ball fake just to get them to not notice it, and then just fling it to him. Yeah, right there. But yeah, it was very. I mean, I played with a really good team that was high IQ. So
Right. And so if this number 3 was like pinching over a little bit further and cutting off Dallas, then you have that skip pass there as well,
right,
right? I've seen you make a
right,
good amount of those when the situation calls for it. I just think you do a great job exactly of what you were talking about. Like once you have an advantage on your guy, you don't really have to worry about him anymore. It's worrying about how the rest of the defense reacts. And I feel like you do a great job of that. Here's another one, very, very similar, kind of spin around, find him cutting. So this one is another big to big pass. So we'll kind of skip past that, kind of similar thing. I wanted to talk through this one because I feel like after watching all your clips, all your games, you guys ran this play a lot where it's like a little bit of a fake pin down and then an immediate back cut, right? Sometimes you were the passer, sometimes you were the recipient, and you guys scored a lot of buckets off of this. Do you want to maybe just talk me through,
yeah. I mean,
the X's and O's of this, and then kind of what you're seeing here?
yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just a simple exchange into a back cut. A lot of people think that man will get the catch right there, so they kind of like try and cut him off and play high, so that back door is usually always there. And with this play, it's very if it's timed right, it's pretty much going to work every time as long as everyone's cutting at the same time and exchanging at the same time. It pretty much will get there every time. And that one, I was just able to flick it up over top, and he was able to finish.
Yeah, you guys have great synergy on this, and that pass right there is not an easy one, right? Like
Yeah.
you put really good touch on that. His trailing defender is doing his best to get back to him here. So if you don't kind of perfectly place that could be a turnover. It could be,
Right.
A missed layup or something, but that's just a beautiful pass right there and a nice finish, obviously, by Alondes. Here's another one where, again, this one's more just truly drawing help on your own accord this time. And, this little behind the back dribble. I think that, we'll get into some of your ball handling stuff later, but you do have it in your bag to make these kind of quick moves that create advantages, draw help. And like we saw before, you make these great reads to find your big to big passes. These next few, I wanted to kind of highlight these because a lot of these are more dirty work or more awkward plays that you turn into easy buckets for your team.
Rebound with Brady Manick. There's not a lot of guys that can have this quick reaction time to even see this guy over here as a possible option with two guys falling on top of you, but you're able to do so. And I think this is kind of just a testament to some of the glue guy stuff that you can do. And, we'll see this is another one here. Maybe you can talk me through this one, right? You're playing against Syracuse against the 2-3 zone. So, when you're in this weak side corner, what are you looking for against Syracuse? What are you seeing here?
Yeah, I mean, and when they're playing zone, this backside cut is usually always open. And me and Man obviously have a good enough connection to where I can just, throw my arm up like that, and he knows to throw it up. And he put this one a little bit too high. I'm not, athletic for all that, but I'm able to see Dream right there, unguarded. So I'm able to just touch pass it to him, and he's able to finish.
That's just a kind of ridiculous play, right? Like to be able to control that ball and have the wherewithal to quickly see your big man there because the defense slid over to you. Like that's a really high level play. And I think that these few clips that we're showing here are kind of a microcosm of what you really will bring at the next level is just a guy with real size that can make that second decisions, for your teammates like this or for yourself, just all to the benefit of your team. Just a really high IQ player. And here's another one, very, very similar, right? You get a fast break going on this one. Not exactly the best lob pass, but you're able to kind of make something out of nothing, get it right back to him for the easy lay-in.
Yep.
This time you're facing a little bit of a press here. Do you want to maybe talk me through, when they're pressing up on you like this full court, kind of after you inbound it, what you're looking for here, what you're seeing, and how you're able to turn this into an odd man situation for your team?
Yeah, again, right here, when they're pressed up and I know I'm about to get a full head of steam, again, it's like I'm looking at who's past this guy. So I know I'm going to have a disadvantage once I get by, and then I just play the eye game. I kind of fake it to the corner. They probably think I'm going to throw it to Isaiah over there in the corner, and then I just whip it to Dallas.
No-look pass, like you really sell that thing. You're really, focusing on the corner guy there. See him out of the corner of your eye again. Easy layup for Dallas. I think Dallas might owe you something for all these times that you dropped to him over the course of the year.
Yeah, he finished them, so.
Nice player himself. I saw him down at the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. I'm interested to see how things turn out for him as he pursues his pro career as well.
Yeah, definitely. He's a good player.
One is kind of highlighting your mid-post game. I mean, we didn't really, we're not going to go into the scoring aspect of it, but like I know from watching all your clips that you're able to kind of turn this into a bucket on your own with some little, one-footed fades or little turnaround jumpers and whatnot. But you want to maybe talk me through when you get this and have maybe a little bit of a size advantage on the elbow or mid-post, what's going through your mind? How are you reading the help side here, or how are you determining whether to kind of get your own bucket or find someone for a skip or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, you see it like in this video. Literally everyone's head is looking at me. Like I draw a lot of attention when I get to that mid post area, so I use that to my advantage. I know that I'm always not going to be able to score because again, that help defender came over super quick, and then I knew the backline defender would help on Dallas, so the corner is wide open for Zay to shoot the ball.
That's not an easy pass to make, right? Like that's it had to be on a line so that his guy couldn't get back out there and close out on him. So you put it on a line, you zipped it over there right into the shooting pocket. Again, easy three. Sometimes it's the small things. Like sometimes guys can see that pass, but not a lot of guys can make it, so accurately like that.
Yeah.
Really simple, and I think you'll get a lot of opportunities like this in the NBA when you're out spacing the floor like this. You've proven to be, you're not necessarily a high volume 3-point shooter, right? I think you took a little over 2 per game, but shot it at 38 and change percent. 40% on low volume as a freshman overall, 37% for your career in college. So, with your size and shooting ability, I think you'll provide enough gravity that guys are going to have to really come out and close out on you hard like this. So when you see him flying at you right here, what is your kind of immediate breakdown for attacking the closeout?
Yeah, I want to see how the help. I mean, obviously, if there's no help defense, I'm either doing a mid range pull up or just getting to the basket. So I'm playing off, who's guarding Alondes right here, and I see he steps up super quick. So I mean, this is just a simple play that I can make for man to get him the ball.
Not always going to be these super flashy reads, complicated reads. Sometimes it's just being able to do something simple as this for your team
Right.
that really helps everyone out. So the next area we're going to talk through is a potential area for improvement. And I think, with some of that passing, acumen that you have and being a guy that's 6'8" with the ball in your hands, making plays for your teammates, sometimes you can be put in some tough positions as well, where you're facing some pretty intense ball pressure, guys, getting up in you and, being asked to make some plays and do some stuff that a lot of guys that are 6'8" normally aren't asked to do. So we're going to go through one potential area for improvement, which I think is some perimeter-based turnovers.
Yeah.
I think you averaged 2.7 turnovers per game, maybe something that we'd like to get down a little bit. The aggressive ones you can obviously always live with, right? Like aggressive turnovers, those happen. It's from trying to make something happen for your teammates. But some of the ones, a little bit further out that are more unforced in nature, might be a good way to even drive up your efficiency even more. So before we get into the clips, is there anything that, is that something that you've noticed in studying your own game, studying your own film, or is that something that you're looking to address already?
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that like the more that I mean, this was kind of the first year where I really had the ball in my hands a lot as far as like playmaking and creating for others, and just being a guard. Like a lot of times I just handled the ball, bringing it up the court. So just like, working on pace, playing with pace. I think a lot of times I was go, and not really playing with pace, and the ball would go off my knee or something like that. Making lazy passes, like, yeah, it was definitely it was one of the biggest things that the coaches would get on me for at Wake Forest, and it was something I was working on throughout the entire year, just not being lazy with my passes and just making the right plays.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's one of those things that, like we were talking about before on the offensive side with the passing, you're a really high IQ player. You're pretty cerebral. You understand the game well. It's just kind of cutting out those momentary lapses that happen sometimes and getting more used to, playing as a handler and creator on the perimeter. So we'll let a few of these run. Feel free to jump in if there's any that you specifically want to talk through, like this one against Towson. I see you're already laughing about this one.
This was the worst. This was the worst back-to-back possession I've ever had.
Yeah, so I had to get it in here, right? Had to get this one in there. Just a tough go, like with the little bit of a lazy inbound pass, and then you're obviously frustrated, whip it out again. It happens again. So what was going on in that Towson game? Because I think that, this is the one that I chose to include, but that was it seemed like they were kind of getting up in you guys, giving you some full court pressure, being a little bit physical and handsy. Like, what was it about that game, and what did you learn from that game particularly, you think?
Yeah, I mean, that was another one of those like gritty physical teams that like to pressure and full court press a lot, like man to man. And to do that, the guards have to get open, but I also have to be able to deliver the pass. And the first one, I probably rushed it a little bit, and he was able to just kind of tip it. But the second one, obviously, a little bit of frustration, kind of just whipped it back out there again, and then same thing happened where they just stole it again. So yeah, that's definitely a back-to-back play that I remember.
Yeah, and I mean, that kind of stuff happens. It's not the end of the world. You guys end up winning this game pretty handily, but it's just some of these type of things, right? You get stuck on the elbow, kind of throw that pass out there. It's a little bit of a soft pass. They pick it off, right? This one kind of off your leg type of thing when they're pressuring you. Like, I think similar here with Paolo Banchero's kind of trailing you, goes off your leg type of thing, right? Like, so I think this is all fixable. It's just a matter of not, like you were saying, not getting rushed, being a little more secure with your handle, being a little stronger with the ball in your hand. But I think it's definitely something that's not like a huge detriment and
Yeah.
is actually kind of low hanging fruit as far as something that you can improve on and tidy up headed to the next level, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about just learning how to be a ball handler. And, there were some things that I didn't really know about, like that in that last play, the dude just tip it from behind. So one of the
Yeah.
things that I've learned now is when that happens, you just toss the ball to your other hand, and they can't reach from behind it and grab it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, that exact scenario just happened to me playing pickup basketball recently. There's this big man that every time that I would get him ISO'd and try to drive on him, he'd always do the reach around thing. And so I started countering with the exact same thing you're talking about, just crossing it right back over as soon as I started going. So yeah, just picking up on those types of things, having good counters for that. And I think that ultimately your skill as like a bigger guy is one of your differentiating skills. So, just cleaning that part up, I think you're going to be able to flourish at the next level.
Definitely.
So the last thing we're going to touch on now is your defense. So I think a lot of these NBA draft models really, like your statistical profile because of some of the ways that you're able to create these impact plays on defense, create turnovers, block shots, kind of, be a good, smart, savvy help side defender that really helps shut stuff down and cut off passing angles. So is there anyone specific that, throughout the course of your career, whether it's in high school or at Indiana State or, at Wake Forest, that you credit with kind of helping you learn team defensive principles, help side stuff, like just kind of how to read and react as an off-ball defender?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just another one of those, like, just having an IQ of the game, just like being able to see what's developing on the court. Like I've gotten a lot of steals everywhere I've been at Indiana State and Wake Forest, and it's literally just off of playing backside help on like post entry passes and playing gap and being able to get the ball out of there. As much as I think I'm a good on ball defender. I think my best, one of my best abilities is team defense and just being able to read the play that's developing on the court.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and we're gonna kind of get into that specifically here. We're gonna start with this game against Louisville, where I know from personal preference playing, this guy is throwing it into the paint to a post up guy from the whole way out here. I know as the post up guy that's tough to keep your guy sealed off there,
Right.
and kind of receive that pass. And it seems like as soon as he's throwing it, you have a good understanding of that. So, what are you seeing on this and how are you able to kind of time that out?
Yeah, I mean, I see Dallas fronting, so I know that back line is open for him. So I'm kind of baiting it. Like, as you can see, like before the pass, I'm acting like I'm just chilling, like not even playing really defense at all. And as soon as I see the ball, out of his hands, I'm going for it. And like this right here is a perfect example. Like that, this is how I got a lot of my steals playing this year.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll go through a few more clips with something similar like that. But I like how you said that you baited him into it, right? And we're seeing that this turns defense into offense. Another assist to Dallas who can stick it from deep. But yeah, it's just like a little bit of a mind game mixed with IQ to be able to kind of make that happen off ball. This one, is more so of like a little bit of a dig where you kind of choose your moment to pounce. So as you have Brady Manick trailing is who you're guarding here. What are you seeing with North Carolina's offense here that leads you to believe that you're good to kind of, make that kind of risk and go for it there?
Yeah, I probably thought he was screening right here, so I probably called out ice or something because, I mean, it looks like he started forcing him down, and then I helped over.
Yep.
Right here, I probably thought he was screening, but I saw Caleb Love, like, a lot of times he just likes to attack and try to create things. So I figured that the ball wasn't gonna go out, and so I was able to just get my hands in there and then tip the ball out.
Yeah, and to do that, you have to have trust in your teammates that they're going to rotate thereafter, right? So it seems like you guys have, great synergy on that front, that you'll be able to pick that up quickly with your eventual NBA teammates. And then here's another example of, turning the defense into offense, showing some ball handling here. And I think you get a little bit of a no-look action in there to Alondas for the layup. So, it's good to see you be able to kind of get it and go, bring that skill to the table. And this was a specific, unique skill that I thought I saw in your film. And this is kind of being able to get low and slide around guys that are posting up and steal these entry passes. Is that something that you feel like is a unique, interesting skill for you that you've been able to figure out and that you've been able to implement into your game? Because I feel like I don't see too many guys that are as good at kind of making stuff like this happen, where there's a cross screen, you get around it, and then you kind of sliver down below them and pick this thing off. So how do you kind of read that and decide, if and when you're able to do so?
Yeah, like this is one of my favorite things to do, like guarding the post and guarding people that are trying to post me up, because I dance a lot. Like I bait them to pass where I want them to pass. So right here, I see the screen coming, I trail it a little bit, and I know right here that he's going to pass it to his outside hand. So I don't even I have no hesitation. I just go to the outside hand instantly, and I get the steal.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see again. You're able to turn defense into offense. And then here's another one, same team, North Carolina. This time it initiates with a little back screen, but you're still able to do something similar here where you get through the screen, kind of looks like you bait him again, right?
Yeah,
it looks like he's wide open here, right?
On this position, I literally stopped. I know that he's going to try and get it to his right hand right here. I see he's setting up for the pass, and then as soon as I go. So, yeah, this was definitely – yeah, baiting and dancing in the post is definitely one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if at the next level, every once in a while, teams try to post you up, try to get some sort of mismatch down there. And I think that you'll oftentimes, when they do that, kind of have that in your bag to be able to bait them into thinking that they've got an easy steal or something, and then just kind of flipping around and, again, turning defense into offense. So I thought that was an interesting skill that I don't see from a lot of guys. And then here is kind of more so highlighting your that you have good hands and are sort of active on the perimeter and making it difficult for teams to get these passes through. Sometimes in DHOs or actions like this, where this guy, if we pause it, it looks like he's wide open right there, right? It's pretty easy, for guys to not have their hands up like this, just to be in a normal defensive stance. But it seems like you have a good wherewithal as to what they're trying to do with these actions and always have your hands up. Is that something that you're cognizant of when you're kind of involved in these standoff actions or in pick and rolls or anything like that?
Yeah, this is something that I've been learning more and more, that I was in college for sure. Just having a lot of times when I guard, whoever, if it's a guard or a big man, I'll just have my arms out but not up, having on ball activity a lot. So just learning to pressure on ball and just kind of cover up, their eyes for where they're trying to pass, and just being able to get tips like that.
Huge difference. It goes from probably 2 easy points for them to 2 easy points for you, right? So just definitely a big, way to swing games like that. Here's another one. Easy layup for your team. Here's another one against my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You give Dane Goodwin some trouble there. So I think that's an underrated aspect of your game that you've improved on. Here, I think we'll probably start this back at the beginning and let you kind of just break down the whole action, because you have to read a lot of stuff in this specific play here. So
anytime.
So Nate's setting the down screen, and you can take it from there. Go ahead.
Yeah, anytime a pin down is set like that, I always have to kind of stunt at it if he curls it. But on this one, he doesn't really curl it. It's more of he goes out wide and catches it more, close to the 3-point line. And then another ball, they put our point guard in a ball screen, and they ended up switching. But it looked like a little bit of miscommunication. So I kind of, again, it's just baiting and kind of dancing, playing more out on the 3-point line. So I know that he'll pass it into the post, so I can go in and grab it. There's
a little bit of a predicament here because, Paul Atkinson has a big size mismatch there on that switch. And Paul's a good player, Portsmouth Invitational guy. And then Nate Leszewski, as we all know, is an absolute sniper from deep at 6'10". So, it's not exactly, easy pickings there, like where there's an obvious place to go, but you do a great job of kind of forcing them the way that you do want them to and kind of taking advantage of it, right?
Yeah.
And off there, get out in transition. Again, this is one of the themes of all of this, is that you're quick reacting to turn defense into offense. Here's just another dig, right? Like,
just
pretty straightforward and simple, but just want to, point out your active hands and, instincts in the gap right there at the nail. This one I found pretty interesting. So we're kind of in crunch time here, under 8 minutes against Duke, at Cameron, crazy environment there, really tight game, important game. As it says down here, you guys were on a 15-2 run, so you probably got the juices flowing, got a lot of momentum going there. So as you're seeing this get fed into the post, you're guarding AJ Griffin here in the corner, who, again, similar to Leszewski, we know is just an absolute sniper, right? Like, for a lot of this year, he was shooting 50% from three.
Yeah.
So how do you, I guess, read Mark Williams' approach here to determine that it's, safe for you to dive in there and try to dig aggressively, or is it something from the scouting report that you're probably able to do so? What is it that kind of prompts this?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't, he's not much of a, once he gets in the post, it's usually going to go up. He doesn't really try and look for, passes out as much. So I just kind of go in and dig the ball.
Hands again, really clean steal there. So this one against Florida State, I mean, it's just you again. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like you're again kind of playing the right place when you kind of bait them a little bit again and just jump out and get this thing.
Yep, definitely.
I wanted to hit on here. So I think, through this one. So again, this is like a little, you got a pick and roll action going here. So these ones are always fun to talk through. So what are you seeing on this one?
Yeah, so this is one where I'm baiting more of the in or the outside pass and guarding more inside, because he's literally right there at the rim, and there's not much help. So I don't want to give up the easy two. So I'm playing more inside, baiting the outside pass, and then again, as soon as I see his eyes, and kind of just body motion looking over there, I see it right there that he's going to make that pass. So
are you comfortable enough that your big who is hedging out here is going to at least be able to get back and get a hand on it if this guy ball fakes to this corner and tries to hit the big? Is that something that you're thinking about as well, like the positioning of the hedger kind of diving back to the paint to help you?
Yeah, I mean, even if he didn't, even if he ball faked, we probably would have just X'd out and I would have stayed down. Because I only went out because he threw the pass out there.
Quick reaction glue guy play there, just like saving a possession, getting yourself a possession there. And then I wanted to highlight this too, because I think you do a pretty good job with verticality from time to time when you're helping on drivers, right? So here you see this guy getting downhill and you're being kind of posted up in the paint. So I mean, it'd be really easy to slide across and, get a blocking foul, get run over, something like that, pick up a foul, but you do a good job of keeping your arm straight up there. But we'll get into some of the actual help side blocks here. So you want to take this one from the top, little pick and roll action starting here, and what after this, exactly what you're seeing as it starts going.
Yeah, I mean, this one I'm playing the gaucho. I see the screens coming. I know that Dallas is going to have to help right there, and I'm playing my man as well because he could potentially pass over there. But as soon as I, see that he's about to give to the big man, I can quickly get over and help.
Pretty quickly off the 2 feet, I think. Got some quick bounce there. This one I found pretty interesting because, unlike the pick and roll read where, you have your responsibilities and your assignments, this one, is more so just a quick reaction where, okay, firstly, you have to defend. I think that's Banchero posting you up, right? But then as soon as he's a great passer, as soon as he makes this dump off pass to Mark Williams, most of the time, if someone was combated with this, it ends up being an easy dunk for Mark. But you're really quick to get over there, help out and block Mark's shot as well. So I don't know. I just feel like, kind of defending effectively 2 potential lottery picks on 1 possession. Not a lot of guys can say that they have, films, clips in their highlight reel that they're able to do something like that.
Right.
Here, this is interesting because you're kind of like directing your teammate on this play, kind of pushing him out, trying to help him out and have his back. So what are you seeing going on in this play, and how are you able to kind of direct traffic and still recover when it breaks down?
Yeah, so usually when I'm playing Gaucho and then there's someone on the wing and they back cut, I'll take the wing and then they'll just stay out. I'll take the cutter and then the wing will take out and guard corner right here. But we had a little bit of a miscommunication, so I kind of try and direct it in, point it out there. I think I might have I gave him a little push too. But yeah, he's Charlie Moore is a very good player, and I was able to recover and get that shot.
This is just an interesting case of, these miscommunications are going to happen from time to time. Like, that's natural. Those things happen in the course of a game, but you're able to still save the defensive possession and, kind of prevent them from getting an easy look out of it. Whereas a lot of teams would have given up an easy layup right there.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I just wanted to bring up a couple impressive athletic plays and quick reaction things, kind of like on the offensive side when we were showing, you catch those lobs that were poorly thrown and turn them into easy dimes, right? Mm-hmm. I think this is a kind of crazy block right here where you're able to kind of pinch up, kind of help here on the logo, kind of cut him off, and you force this kind of off kilter alley-oop pass. It's not perfect, but there's not a lot of guys that can, I think, bring their body momentum toward the ball like this and stunt at the ball and then quickly recover, spin around, and then block an alley-oop layup, right? Like, did you want to maybe talk me through what you're, as they're getting out in transition and you see this situation unfolding here? Like, what is your process? How are you deciding how to play it? And how are you able to kind of spin and recover for that block so quickly?
Yeah, honestly, I don't even know if I knew that the guy was behind me, but I saw the guy at half court right now. So I was playing him more, and I think that's why my body was turned so much. Like I might have been unaware that the dude was behind me, like even right here. But as soon as I saw the alley-oop, I was able to spin my head around real quick and recover. Like right there, I was like, oh, he's behind me.
It's ridiculous though, because you kind of like at least bring your weight up a little bit already right here, and the ball's in the air. So to be able to like come back down, gather yourself, and spring back up for that block that's just pretty ridiculous, man. This one, maybe you can talk me through it. I kind of think I see what your approach is in this 2-on-1 situation, and it comes back to the kind of deceptive baiting and whatnot. But tell me when there's a 2-on-1 break and you're the lone man on defense. Yeah, what are you trying to do to throw the offense off kilter and kind of save an easy bucket?
Yeah, I love 2-on-1 breaks because again, it's like it's baiting. That's all it is. And most times on 2-on-1, what they like to do is just throw the alley-oop. So you see in the clip, I stunt at the ball right there quickly, and I do a super quick stunt back. It's just a quick hesitation. And as soon as I do that, I pretty much know he's going to go up with it, and then I'm able to just time it and meet him at the rim.
Just ridiculous savviness, footwork, fluidity. Like, there's a lot that goes into being able to execute that. It's not just faking toward him, faking back, and getting to it. Like, that takes a lot of deft footwork and smarts to be able to pull something like that off, and then again explosiveness to be able to get up there and get it. So that one really stood out to me as well, and I think was just a good final clip to end on there, because it's bringing everything together: the smarts, the IQ, the fluid footwork, and then the bounce as well, and the size, right? there's
Yeah.
just a lot to like about your game. And I think, as people kind of caught up on the film, even after the season was over, it became more and more apparent how cleanly your game translates to the NBA. And I think a lot of teams should be excited to have the opportunity to draft you. So thanks for taking the time to run through all those clips together. I thought that was a pretty fun way to spend, 2 days before the draft, just kind of looking through all of that. I'm sure a lot of teams are kind of doing the same. So good stuff there. And I just wanted to end with two questions that I like to ask any prospects, after I go through some game film with them. The first one is, what is your why and what drives you to be the best basketball player that you can be?
I was given these talents and blessings for a reason. Like, I'm a very, very faith-based person. So I think, God gifted me these talents for a reason, and I'm just doing his work by playing the game and then being able to use it as a platform. So I definitely say that's my why.
Anything in particular that, once you do get drafted and do have this platform and you're able to kind of establish yourself in the NBA, or, on that note, are there any particular things that you are passionate about and would want to use that platform to, help change or help a specific cause or anything like that?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I want to start a foundation. I mean, it can be for anything right now. I don't really have anything in the works, but like, I love being with kids and being around kids. So anything with like, maybe using sports as a getaway from for struggled kids or something like that, struggling teens. I definitely want to be involved with something like that.
I know that the NBA itself, loves to get involved in those types of things as well. So I'm sure that there are people, within the league that would be able to partner with you and help bring some of that forward and help you kind of shape that. So that's really exciting, just wanting to make a difference. I think that's a great why.
Yeah.
And then the last question, I just want to give you the floor to kind of speak directly to any NBA teams that may be considering drafting you. So who is Jake LaRavia, and why should an organization, bring you onto their team? Why should they draft you?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like just traits, like elite competitiveness, like hard work, like I'm a gym rat. I love basketball. I love the game. It's what I do. Like, I love the game. Like, there's not much else to it. And then just on the court, obviously, there's just a lot of versatility that I bring to the game. Offensively, can create for others, can hit shots. Playmaking obviously is just one of my best skills. And then defensively, I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm going to be able to bring the NBA team, is just being able to guard, any position really, and being able to guard it well. So just versatility on both sides of the ball, and just, competitiveness, leadership, all those skills.
I think that you've really made a great case this year to be a potential first-round pick. I'm interested to see, kind of how things shake out in a couple of days here, but I think the sky's the limit for you. Really excited for you, man. I'll be out at Summer League here in less than a month now, which is crazy. So I'll be sure to come catch a couple of your games. All right.
Awesome. Appreciate you.